Hey guys, welcome back to the BMW blog channel. Today we're going to take a look at the design changes that BMW is preparing for the 4 Series, i4 and M4 model lineup towards their upcoming facelift or life cycle impulse next 2024. As we know, BMW redesigned the 4 Series back in 2020, introducing a significant series of upgrades as well as some polarizing design elements. Now, for their due facelift, BMW is set to introduce some subtle yet interesting visual elements to bring consistency into their product lineup and as well as keeping us fans excited. So, without further ado, let's take a look into the latest prototypes of the upcoming refresh. This right here is a rolling prototype of the new 4 Series in its Grand Coupe variant, which is the 4-door version in the fastback roofline that we've known since its previous generation. Focusing on its front fascia, we will see a lot of camouflage here covering up the new bumper and the headlights. However, as we look closer, we will notice some elements from the current generation that are actually being carried over to this facelift, such as this typical V-shaped design element which houses the large kidney grilles, or the two large intakes from the M Sport package here in the sides. If you are expecting a redesign of the infamous kidney grille, you're out of luck, as it appears that it will remain in this shape and size for at least this generation. The one redesigned element that will contrast greatly with the current generation will be the new headlights. As we can see here, BMW is departing from their traditional angel eyes in the hexagonal shape that we have seen in the latest generation and embracing this new dual arrow design over here, similar to what we saw on the recent X2, X5 and X6 LCI, or even the latest 5 Series. This way, they will bring more consistency across their product lineup and lay the foundation for the minimalist aesthetics in their next generation of models, the Noi class. Notice that in these photos, we can only see one light bulb per headlamp, meaning that this new design could feature some kind of sleek matrix light system between these arrow graphics. The side view, as we can see here, will remain mostly unchanged. The 4 Series will be keeping its split shoulder line design that differentiates it from the current 3 Series, bring a lot more dynamism and greater visual feeling of keeping its height and weight down closer to the ground. If we move on to the rear view, again, we can see a heavy amount of camouflage covering up the bumper and taillights. However, as we saw on the front fascia, we can clearly identify several graphic design cues that are near identical to the current generation in its M Sport package, such as these large vertical graphics or even this pronounced diffuser design. If we take a closer look into the taillights, we can see that the prototype is cleverly hiding these LED graphics through this opaque plastic panel. Now, based on the different spy images that we've seen of the 4 Series prototypes, we can see that they may be shifting away from the current taillight design graphic into the one that we saw on the M4 CSL, which is a very unique interpretation, in my opinion, of their L-shaped typical graphic from BMW models, but with a very nice and clean design through these laser filaments. Although this may take away some of the unique personality from the CSL model, I still think they look fantastic, and I think it should really get fans excited to see them on the upcoming M4 facelift too. Now, before I jump onto the M4 and its new variant, let's take a quick look at the interior. This right here is the typical BMW interior we've seen for many years now in different models across the BMW lineup, which we first saw on the 4 Series back in 2020. And this right here is the mild refresh that the 4 Series received this past year, now including this new curved display with the iDrive 8 we've seen in very recent models. Designers also decided to ditch the ergonomic stick shift in favor of this small paddle, which is not something I really like, but well, at least they've kept the iconic iDrive wheel, which we've seen disappearing on some recent models, such as the latest X1 and X2. Taking into account these changes took place right before the facelift next spring in 2024, what can we expect from the actual refresh regarding the interior? Well, as we feature in a recent article in our BMW blog website, BMW is actually shifting away from these deep facelifts and focusing more on what they call tech lifts. This means that the bigger changes will focus more around the technological upgrades. So perhaps we could see the inclusion of the new iDrive 8.5 in the next refresh and maybe some other interesting software improvements. But BMW could still throw us a curveball and introduce the new steering wheel design, which I really like on its M Sport variant. But for now, we would place our bets on a very similar design to the current one. Perhaps with some new upholstery options, including the new Veganza leather, but not very substantial changes. And now let's take a look at the upcoming M4 refresh, but not just the regular or the competition version. The new M4 CS variant. That's right, the M4 CS is making a comeback. And just with like the latest M3 CS, we can expect some very similar styling to that from the M4 CSL, which is one of my favorite models from the latest years from the BMW catalog. Some visual highlights of this new M4 CS include the refreshed dual arrow headlights, but now in a yellow tone to indicate that we are among the CS model. The new X-shaped kidney grille slats with red accents around its frame, the exposed carbon fiber graphics on the hood, the aggressive front splitter, as well as the CS design bucket seats. If you're wondering how does this model fit into the M family without clashing with the M4 CSL that we love, bear in mind that this CS model will have around 2,000 units produced, compared to the 1,000 units produced of the M4 CSL. Moreover, the CS won't be getting some unique elements of the M4 CSL, such as the iconic ducktail or the extended red accents across the different body panels. Aside from that, we can expect an increase to 543 horsepower and a significant weight reduction of approximately 75 pounds or even more. This is just based on the weight reduction of the M3 CS that we saw last year. Alright, so this was our first look at the upcoming 4 Series, M4 and M4 CS model lineup that we should expect between spring and summer of 2024. Let us know what you think in comments. Do these changes visually improve the current 4 Series generation, or are there any specific design elements that you would like BMW to tweak towards their upcoming facelift? So stay tuned for more news on upcoming BMW models, and thank you very much for watching.